goes to touch the phone, it's like he hangs up on the person. Like,
it's always Tom Dacey too.
yeah, please call back.
We're supposed to be getting a call in like 2 minutes. So.
Yeah, well, we do have fun. We do, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have no monitor to see what we're watching, gentlemen. We do not know if we were on the air.
Tried telling them that, but.
We're live. Go.
Welcome to another edition of the Squared Circle. It is June 2nd, 2015. I'm Hollywood J. Williams.
Ruckus.
Ruckus is here too.
I brought the ruckus once again.
Brought the ruckus once again. We're want to start out the show. You saw the graphic to begin with. Some sad news that came out of Massachusetts this past Friday afternoon. The passing of Revival Pro Wrestling owner, operator, good friend of the Squared Circle family, Eric W. Newton. Known Eric for about 3-4 years. Back when I was on the top rope with Mr. Trivia, that's when we started going up there to Chicopee to film, do interviews. He was gracious to us. He was. When I started the Squared Circle, very gracious person, allowing us to go in, and basically the precursor to our promoter campaign now, where we go all over. Everybody in the area has really nothing bad to say about him.
Yeah, I know my son got to meet Eric Newton on a number of occasions when you've gone up, and Dylan had some very kind words to say about him, and he gave Dylan all access, even though Dylan was just starting out doing his camera work, and now now that he's got a few years under his belt and superstars that he's filmed, and all the local guys have been featured in Dylan's work. Newton was one of the first guys to allow Dylan to film. So, right. I mean, I'll forever be grateful for that. And unfortunately, Dylan isn't here with us tonight. He's got driving school. Woohoo! Look out, ladies and gentlemen, on the roads. Definitely. But, Dylan did have some wonderful things to say about Newton. And he said Mr. Newton was very kind to him and encouraging and allowing him full access to the wrestlers in the backstage, and it was one of the first times that Dylan got to do something like that. So I know at least in his heart, he'll always remember Eric Newton for giving him that opportunity.
Definitely. Anybody that knew him that wants to call 203-907-0436 will be here at 9 o'clock at night.
Yep. I'm assuming the numbers on the screen. We don't have our monitor tonight.
Right.
Yeah, it was a fun night getting here, but those things happen.
Right.
Those things happen.
It's been a chaotic night so far.
Our crack staff
starting a little late.
Yeah, our crack staff is running around like mad.
Definitely.
But Eric Newton, God bless his family, and rest in peace.
Thoughts and prayers go out to them tonight, and. I know June 13th, I think the last I knew, the card for Springfield, Mass. was still on.
Yes.
And they're definitely going to be paying tribute to him that night.
To my knowledge, I think he had a partner or a second in command, so to speak.
Right.
And as for the moment, anything that they've had booked is going to continue.
Right.
Now, whether or not Revival Pro Wrestling will be taken over and continue as an entity, we haven't gotten news yet, but of course we'll keep you posted, and I hope just for all the wrestlers that are contracted to them and putting on shows, that they can continue the promotion, in his honor, and it's always good to have the wrestling product out there.
Right, exactly. He loved his people.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Right. So. Yeah. Godspeed.
And we'll have to ask our guest, because I understand our guest has had some interaction with Eric Newton and his product. And our guest tonight is Hillbilly Greg. Hillbilly Greg, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me, guys.
You
Appreciate
are
it.
currently, as we see the belt in front of you,
Currently.
one half of the PWA Tag Team World Champions.
Currently one half of the PWA World Tag Team Champions.
And who did you win that from?
Well, we had a 4 tag team scramble, and at the time it was Troy Stevens Bebe and let's see, Pedro Wandonis
Oh,
III.
we got the phone. Can we interrupt you for one moment? We do have a call.
We do have a call.
We don't usually do this, but
Right.
go ahead.
You are live on the Squared Circle.
It's Lurch.
Hey, Lurch.
Lurch. Thank you very, very much for calling. For those of you who might not remember, Lurch was a guest going back a couple years ago.
Yes.
Has his own internet radio show, the Lurch and Don Bly broadcast, I believe. You're still doing that, right, sir?
Yep, we're going strong. We just celebrated our 6-year anniversary a couple months back.
Congratulations.
Did the cactus ever get big, the one that I gave you?
That kind of died about a year ago.
Oh,
How do you kill a cactus? Wow.
Not good with plants.
you're not good with plants. You're just good about talking about plants, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, no, we just opened up the broadcast and we just talked a little bit about the passing of Eric Newton, and I know you have a history with Eric Newton as well, definitely.
Yes, I do. If I get a little emotional, bear with me. I don't get emotional for most things, but New England lost a great promoter.
Absolutely.
And little fact, Miss Newton gave me my first start in this business when I was just a skinny punk of a cameraman trying to get my start.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. So my son actually started doing camera work, and Mr. Newton was one of the first guys to let him do some work.
Yeah, that was the one that probably, if I could take a certain quality out about Eric, that was one of them. If you wanted to get a start in this business, he would try to find a way to get you to contact the right people, whether it's training or if you did a lot graphic work, he get graphics from you. His heart was bigger than he was. And
Yeah.
we all know Eric was a fairly big guy.
Yes, he was.
Right. Yeah. I remember Trivia and I interviewed him, and then the second person we ever interviewed for the Top Rope was you.
Oh yeah, man. Time flies in this business.
I know.
I'll tell you what.
I know.
I mean, it feels like yesterday I had a video camera and a cameraman just doing backstage interviews. Next thing I know, I'm throwing on a ref shirt.
It's crazy.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And I remember the time we did the internet radio show in that smoke-filled basement.
Oh yeah, no, we moved that up because our buddy Tank, he moved down to South Carolina. We missed him horribly, but we moved to a different studio. We moved on up to what we call the penthouse.
Oh, you're not in the basement anymore.
No, we're in the penthouse.
Nice.
It's Tom's kitchen.
Nice.
Hey, move from a basement to a kitchen. Why not? Move
Hey, at least the
out.
catering's better, right?
And
What's that?
we used to call the basement the den.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There we are.
I'll have to come up and check out the penthouse one of these days.
So, how do we find your show on the internet for our folks? I know how to find it. I listen to you quite often, but
www.diutv.com. Follow us on Facebook because, after 6 years, me and Dom were pretty much, we stream every other Sunday, but there will be Sundays where we're just like, dude, we're too tired from the work week.
yeah,
Mhm.
working hard so others don't have to.
That's
Oh,
it.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, thank you for calling in and sharing your thoughts on Mr. Newton. He definitely.
I got just a couple shameless plugs I got put out there.
Go right ahead.
If anyone feels like going to the wake is at the Brookline Funeral Home in Rocky Hill on Thursday. And then if you happen to be in the Newtown area on Friday between 6 and 8, there is a celebration of life service at the Grace Family Church on 174 Mount Pleasant Road, Newtown, Connecticut.
Okay. Yeah, a good friend of mine's a letter carrier out there. I'm sure she knows exactly where that is.
Right.
You know,
Oh, fantastic.
and we have, let's see, I actually got to look up the venue of the next show we're doing. Then June 13th up in Springfield, Massachusetts, show called Paying Dues at the Clarion Hotel in Aqua Lagoon Water Park, 1080 Riverdale Street, West Springfield, Massachusetts. Bell time 7 o'clock. Eric Young is scheduled to be on the card, and all proceeds from the show, ticket sales, merchandise, food, all that are going to Eric Newton's family, and there's also a GoFundMe, going around Facebook for him as well. So even if it's something simple as $1, please donate.
I've seen the GoFundMe before.
Yeah.
I can't promise anything. If I don't end up having anything that works, I definitely would like to go up to Springfield on June 13th.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out and everything. I mean, it's going to be, we're going to put our heart and effort into it because, that's what Eric was about.
Yep.
Exactly.
Well, thank you, definitely, and we will get all the information on that card, and we will talk about it on next Tuesday's show, and we will promote your card there, and hopefully get some traffic up your way.
Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate it, guys. You have a great rest of your night.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very, very, very much, Lurch. We'll talk to you real soon.
All right, take it easy.
Take it easy, man.
All right, I apologize to our guest for
Right.
that interruption. So, the tournament for the tag team belts.
We had a 4-way for the tag team belts.
Yep.
4 teams were involved. It came down to the final 2 teams were the champions had actually gotten eliminated. It came down to the Wrecking Hillbillies and the NPC.
Yep.
And the Wrecking Hillbillies destroyed them in the end.
Yes.
We walked away the tag team champs.
And that was the inaugural show in Cheshire, if I'm not correct, right?
That's correct.
Yes.
correct.
Yeah, we were at that. We had a table there and filmed our match when Troy Stevens defeated the 203
Right.
for the first ever PWA Squared Circle television title.
He did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The PWA Squared Circle Television
Title. Yes.
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
The only one name for it.
Hey, Troy Stevens had a heck of a match that night, man. He went out, he put on a show, he worked, and overall he won the match.
Yep.
First ever Squared Circle television champion you guys got, man.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
That's a proud honor.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. What are your thoughts on it? I know you got the tag team gold Squared Circle television title.
Hey, you never know. I've yet to win singles gold.
Yep.
Been 2-time PWA tag team champion.
Yes.
This is the second occasion. I'm enjoying it. I like the tag team unit, but also I think that every pro wrestler out there wants some singles gold. So
Yeah.
you never know
Right.
what's down the line in the future for the PWA.
You were involved in the Ecuador tournament
I was.
this past Saturday, too.
I was.
Nice seeing you and everybody.
Unfortunately, that didn't go so well.
No.
But the person that I was in the tournament with, I had a rematch with the very next day on Sunday.
Really?
Yes. And he tapped out to the Hillbilly that day. The
wasn't
day
aware of
before, it didn't go my way. In the tournament, he advanced. I lost. Overall, Troy Stevens, Bebe,
Yep.
your squared circle television champion, won the Ecuador title.
Yes. So now he's got 2 belts to hang on to there.
I know.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So I mean, anything can
He's got,
happen.
he's got a belt for each shoulder now.
That's right. That's right.
There's
Hey.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Well, so that just goes to show that Hillbilly Greg might have a belt for each shoulder at some
Hey,
point.
you never know, man. I'm waiting.
So I mean, we definitely had the pleasure of having Wrecking Ball Legursky on the show before.
Okay.
And now we've got the second half of the tag team champions, and of course we've had Troy Stevens on right after he won the title. Coming up on June 20th in Bristol, Connecticut, at the new Boys and Girls Club, you've got another match coming up.
That's right. We got the tag team championships on the line against the NPC. June 20th, the new Bristol Boys and Girls Club. And I can tell you, man, I cannot wait to perform there. I'm a resident of Bristol, Connecticut. I've lived there for 31 years. I amateur wrestled at the old Boys and Girls Club from the age of 5 all the way until I was in 8th grade, and then wrestled in their high schools all the way through to my senior year. And I did a lot of wrestling in the old Boys and Girls Club. I cannot wait to perform in the new one.
So I'm imagining that the house is going to be full of Hillbilly Greg fans and
I'm hoping so.
family and fans and people that have watched you there at the old Boys and Girls Club many a time before.
Absolutely, we're gonna pack that place. PWA is going to sell it out.
PWA, has been growing, and we've been involved with them for several years now. And my son Jacob is
Absolutely.
in the youth program, and the youth program's been getting larger and larger. And we saw you there yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
And PWA is just really gathering momentum, and they've been doing it at a very steady pace, and one step at a time. And really, Joseph von Schmidt has an awesome plan, and
He does. I could really say, as far as I know, I don't know too much about like veterans of the business, and I've met certain ones, but haven't met too many. And I know that when he first started the youth program, a lot of people were bad mouthing it and doing this and doing that. Let me tell you what, man. Had there been a youth program when I was 10, I would have been right involved, man, because I was in love with it back then, and I've grown into a grown man, and I'm actually doing it. So it's what I've loved since I was a kid. It's what I'm doing as an adult. And if there was a youth program 20 years ago, I would have been in it.
yeah. And can you imagine the experience you'd have by
now.
By now.
Yes.
And it's fantastic that these kids that start out at like 12, 13 years old, and by the time they're 18, 19 and
They're
ready
ready
to
to
get
go.
yeah. And who's going to be able to say that? I mean, some of the people that are in the industry now don't even have 4 or 5 years
Yeah, right. It's
of training.
It's like Joseph von Schmidt put it in a very simple terms. It's like if a young male adult wanted to grow up to be in the Major League Baseball league,
Yes.
he's got to start out playing t-ball.
Yep.
And you go up levels and notches, and that's how you get better and get on to bigger leagues and stuff like that. So the youth program is something that is great for the current state of any young kids out there that want to get involved.
And I always say that the people that you mentioned that were bad mouthing and poo-pooing on the youth program, you've got Pee Wee football, and the contact there is full contact.
Absolutely.
And
they're hard hitting.
And as we know, I'm not breaking the fourth wall or anything. As we know, the wrestling business, you're working together to put on a show, and the risk is a lot smaller than two young men clacking skulls together on the football field. And everyone, it's acceptable that your 10, 11-year-old is on the football field, playing full contact football, tackle football. And I know a young man that's friends with my sons that has already had 4 concussions from football.
Right.
None of the children in the youth program have had any type of concussion, any type of injury.
That is because they're getting the proper training.
There we are. There we are.
Yeah, it's as opposed to that backyard wrestling they have,
Yeah,
which
I don't know anything about that stuff.
No, we we don't acknowledge it, we don't cover it, and
Right.
we absolutely frown upon it.
Not to say that the current football coaches are coaching the wrong way or anything like that.
No, it's just
with their kids, it's just that when you're a child playing football, it is full contact.
Yep.
They're gonna get hurt. Same thing wrestling. It may not be considered full contact, but there's definitely opportunities where you're gonna get hurt.
But I'm saying, as far as your opponent in the wrestling ring isn't looking to tackle you, isn't looking to take you out of the game.
no.
All things being equal, you guys are out there with a full amount of respect for one another.
Yes, absolutely.
And you're making a living, your opponent is making a living, and you're not looking to injure them or take them out of their game. Whereas in football, you're looking to hit as hard as you can, and the risk is so much more higher risk than in the wrestling business. Is my point. You know, I'm not saying that you guys are at risk for being injured, because God knows, you know, even the most professional Steve Austin broke his neck, you know, and he's got knee problems, and you know, obviously Hulk Hogan's got back surgeries, knee surgeries.
Surgery.
So you know, I mean, it comes with the
Hulk
territory.
Hogan's lucky to be walking around
Yes.
right now.
Yeah, he is.
But you know, I mean, he's 60 years on, and you know, I'm just saying the risk factor in full contact football and even basketball. I mean, you're landing hard on that, on that hardwood floor, and you know, I've seen professionals go down with injuries. You know, one of the most devastating things I ever saw was Larry Bird landing on the parquet and breaking his cheekbone. Oh, and they kept showing the replay after replay, and it was just, Larry Bird was my idol as a kid, and just seeing him fall like that. But as I said, I haven't seen any of the youths, have any injuries or problems, thank God, and it's a great program, and you've helped out, and Dickie Moon I know helps out, and,
Yep.
and
We
of
got
course
a
Troy
couple
Stevens.
guys. Troy Stevens is always down there.
Yep.
Dickie Moon is always down there. I make an appearance
Yep.
every once in a while with the youth when I can.
Yeah.
Joseph Von Schmidt is always down there.
Yeah.
We got a couple good guys who are always there with the kids, and they are getting the proper training, and that's why they're going through less injuries than some other sports.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And what else do you know about the card on June 20th?
June 20th, every single PWA champion is going to be there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We've got the tag team champions defending the titles. Me and Wrecking Ball Legursky, your squared circle television champion,
Of course.
is defending the title.
Against Amazing Red.
I believe he's going against Red, yeah.
TNA star,
That's
Amazing
gonna,
Red.
that's gonna
former
be a
TNA
really
star.
good match, if you
Yeah.
ask me. It'll be good. Let's see, we've got the old school champion Bull Dread
Yeah.
putting his title on the line, and the PWA international champion JVS putting
Yep.
the title on the line.
And you got Azrael and Hippie Dickie Moon in a hair match.
A hair match, right?
Now, these
Well,
two
one of them's gonna
fellas-
get their head shaved.
Yeah, I mean, these two fellas got some serious locks. Past their shoulders.
Both of
and,
them got hair past their shoulders, man. Somebody's gonna be bald by the end of the night.
I mean, it's and Dickie Moon just won the #1 contender spot for the PWA Squared Circle Television title. Now, are we going to have a #1 contender that's bald?
Dickie Moon?
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No.
But hey, we saw Vince McMahon get his head shaved.
Hey,
by
Azrael
Donald
might get
Trump.
his head shaved.
Yeah, and Azrael's got the serious locks too. He's always doing the slick back. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be an interesting match. June 20th, Bristol, Connecticut. PWA Clash of Champions, I believe is the title.
Battle for Glories.
Battle for Glory. I'm sorry.
Glory.
The last one
Battle
was
for
Clash.
Glories.
The last one was Clash of Champions. My bad.
Clash of Champions as opposed to the WCW Clash of
Right.
the Champions.
Right.
That was,
Battle for Glory. My bad.
Yep. Battle for Glories,
okay.
June 20th.
June 20th at the Boys and Girls Club in Bristol. Are we missing anything on that card? I think we covered it.
I think we pretty much
We got
covered
all
it.
the champions in the house. We got Dickie Moon and Azrael in the hair match.
Yeah. Fantastic.
There may be one or two other matches that I'm unaware of at this time that haven't been announced. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely cover it before then.
Card's always subject to change.
So you said you started out as like a high school wrestler, like collegiate style, mat-based wrestling.
I started mat wrestling at the age of 5.
Wow.
I was in kindergarten, and my uncle actually coached at the Bristol Boys and Girls Club. And at that time, once he got me on that mat, I stuck through it from kindergarten through 8th grade at the boys club.
Yep.
And then went right into high school wrestling, 9th grade through 12th grade.
Wow. And I'm assuming like tournaments in high school and
Oh, everything,
and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Tournaments, singles, competition, every kind of match that you can imagine in high school I had.
So how did you transition over to professional wrestling?
Well, the entire time that I amateur wrestled, it just so happened when I was around 5 or 6 years old, I used to spend Sundays at my grandparents' house, and my grandfather used to have it on the television. And I can remember he used to record it so that when we weren't there, we'd go over and he'd have a VHS. They don't even have those anymore. You know what I mean? He just
They
put
don't exist.
he just put the VHS in, and he would have recorded 4 hours of, you know, a 2-hour show on Sunday and a 2-hour
Yeah.
show on Saturday. And then when we went over there on a Wednesday night, hey, here's 4 hours of wrestling, pop it in. The kids will just sit there. And I don't know about any of the other kids, but it worked for me.
Yeah.
I sat there, I watched the whole show from front to back. There was nothing about it from any age that I started watching it that never amazed. It always amazed me. So every time I went out there on the mat as an amateur, I was continuously thinking in the back of my mind, one day I'm going to be inside of a wrestling ring.
Wow.
And it took me 29 years to do that.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. So,
But eventually
that
I
was
got
good.
inside the box, and I'm not going anywhere for a long time.
You got inside the squared circle.
Yes. Inside the squared circle.
So, I mean, is PWA your first experience with professional wrestling and training, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So how'd you find Joseph von Schmidt?
Well, that's kind of a weird story. There was one particular year I worked, I did 10 years at a local amusement park in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And I met several big wrestlers right there.
Oh, wow.
I met Mick Foley, I met Sergeant Slaughter, and I met Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
The same year that I met those two, just in another area.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
meet
yeah.
him in the park. But
Okay.
all three of them, I gave them a reference. And one guy happened to mention, you know, hey, if you're out of Connecticut, you should really check out Joseph von Schmidt. He's at the time, he was out of New Haven.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he said, Joseph von Schmidt in New Haven. And I looked at him and said, New Haven, Connecticut? And he said, yes. The first thing I went and did was, by that time, you know, it was already, 2012. We had YouTube,
Yeah.
Facebook, all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I just hopped right on the YouTube Joseph von Schmidt, and up comes this 6'5", blonde-headed, 280-pound guy flying off of ropes.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
Amazing.
this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like I never met him before, but just
Yeah.
by visually watching, being a fan the whole time,
Yeah.
this guy knows what he's doing, and I want to meet him.
Yep.
The first day I walked into his facility, he asked me what my goal was, and I said, before my mom leaves this earth, she's going to see me do this. And it's happening for me.
Yeah. So your mom's still with you?
She is. It's really a coincidence because since I started,
Yeah.
she had a major heart problem. And it was right before I had a really big match in Bristol against Bull Dread.
Yeah.
And she had bought a ticket. She was all excited. She had a major heart issue. She was in the hospital for a week, and we really thought anything could have happened there. We could have lost her, anything. She survived. She's been to every local match that I've had. She's a big supporter. She's always loved wrestling. And my mom is seeing me in the ring and being successful at
Wow,
it. So
God bless
that's
her.
really pleasing
God
to
bless
me.
her.
That's exactly what I told Joseph von Schmidt I wanted from the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, that's really fantastic. That's really fantastic. And of course, Mick Foley being the roller coaster aficionado, I think
Oh,
I
definitely.
think he's hit every roller coaster on the planet. If you read his books, you know, I mean, he's just a fanatic for amusement parks and roller coasters in particular. He's like the biggest little kid you ever want to
I
meet.
know.
And he's a wonderful fella. And I had the opportunity to meet him in, I want to say, Derby or Seymour. There was a wrestling card out there, and his two young boys, about the same age as my sons, and they were playing together and got to meet one another, and it was really nice. And Foley's the nicest guy you want to meet.
Oh, yeah.
You know, no matter if it's at the amusement park or at a wrestling event, you know, he's grateful for the celebrity that he has, and he's never like mean to his fans or stuff like that. And I can't say that about everybody because I've met a few of the guys, even at events where they're paid to be there, that were kind of like, you know, didn't want to be bothered. And I'm like, really? You know, you're here to meet the fans, not be a jerk to them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Foley's a great guy. I'm sure you'd say the same.
Absolutely. I've also had my experiences with both types of people
Yeah.
in the business so
Yeah.
far. And really, like, I mean, I'm more of the happy go like kind of
Yeah.
like Mick Foley. Like I would shake anybody's hand, say hi to anybody,
Yeah.
make them feel the way that they want to be
Yeah.
felt, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the way that I think that anybody should treat anybody.
Yeah.
Personally.
And Eric Newton. Well, tell us a little about anything you know.
I did not know Eric personally. I knew of him.
Yeah.
I knew of his company. I know a couple people that actively are wrestling
Yeah.
for his promotion. That's about the extent
Okay.
of it. I did not know him personally or
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
like that.
Okay.
But to his family,
Yeah.
I mean, condolences,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Anytime you hear somebody passing in the business, it's like the PWA also did like a 10-bell salute
did,
for him
yeah.
at the
Yeah.
last show.
Yeah,
So,
on Saturday. Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah, you know, and it's strange that you know, you say that it is a family, you know, and we feel that down at PWA, and Jacob has met, you know, all the kids that he's wrestling with, the guys that are training them, and it's a very heavy, you know, family style environment, you know, and Jacob's made some friends, and I know you've made friends, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, and you're going to have that for the rest of your life.
Yep.
And it's just a great feeling, a good thing to know that, you know, not only is it a sport, not only is it a workout, it's a hell of a workout.
Oh yeah,
by the way,
definitely.
but it's a place where you make friends that you're going to know for the rest of your life.
Yes.
You know, and you know, and we know that, you know, we all have our characters, and you know, Joseph von Schmidt in the ring is you know, the big bad German, but you know, we know him outside the ring, and
Right.
he is a wonderful guy.
Absolutely, man. He really has done more than miracles for me. You know, as like I said, it goes back for me since the age of 5,
Yeah.
and the only thing it ever was for me was probably like it was for anybody else, was a dream.
Yeah.
I never even thought it was possible. And from the day I met him until now, we've built such a great relationship as a, you know, teacher and student, and this person is being people.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah,
guys.
and of course, his wife is just the nicest, most wonderful person you want to meet.
She is. Both of them have really done so much for me in my pro career thus far.
Yeah. Now you mentioned the old VHS tapes and watching wrestling, so you must have been inspired by somebody.
Who was your favorite growing up?
You know, you can't just pick one, but you know, I mean, just a handful.
I probably got a top 5
Yeah.
guy or whatever.
Yeah, of
like
course.
that.
Shoot, go ahead.
You know, growing up, automatically the hero was Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I grew up in that era, and when Ultimate Warrior beat him, I cried. But probably I would say Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart is a big one.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Those are probably my top 5 guys who I grew up watching, idolizing what they did, from T-shirt sales to in-ring work to all that stuff. All 5 of those guys were a pretty big part of my life throughout the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much everybody. I mean, you can't, you know, that's like the Mount Rushmore,
I know.
you know, of professional wrestling. You know, you got to have those guys on there. You know, in addition to like the old school superstar Billy Graham
Right.
and Bruno Sammartino.
Kids nowadays, they don't know any of that stuff. They
Well, I
think
was
Cena
big into Ric
or-
Flair too.
Yeah, and Ric Flair. That was my next.
Ric Flair is my favorite.
You know, I was big into him too. I liked it. Like, I just didn't see like he had standout matches
Yeah.
at pay-per-views and everything in the 80s and early 90s, but pushing more towards the 90s, I feel like it was in that period of time the younger guys like Shawn Michaels
Yeah.
and Bret Hart that needed to come up
Yeah.
in
Right.
order for like the game to keep going.
Yeah, yeah,
So-
absolutely. And of course, I mean, you and the guys at PWA are the next generation.
Absolutely,
You know,
man.
and,
Like,
you know-
like it's going to take guys like who Joseph Von Schmidt is training to get to the next level to keep the game going.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and you know, with the announcement of Ring of Honor being on Destination America every week now, leading into TNA
Right.
on Destination America on Wednesday nights. So now we've got 3 hours of wrestling on Wednesday nights with Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor getting a national television contract now.
Finally, something they've richly deserved now for the longest of time.
Yeah,
at
and we've
least
been
a
saying
decade.
for a while because
Right.
we've been fortunate enough that Ring of Honor has come around close enough for us to have attended, and I've got several DVDs, and you can go online and watch it.
Oh, yeah.
But cable television still, for the moment anyway, is king, and for Ring of Honor to have a national platform, I think it's just good for the industry as a whole.
Definitely. As a whole, for the industry, any product that is on cable television is good.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have WWE. They're your monster.
They're
Yeah.
the standard.
They're
bearer.
Right.
they're where everybody pretty much desires to go.
Yes.
Maybe not everybody. Don't get me wrong. Everybody does not desire to go there.
Right.
But where you're going to make the most money, where you're going to get the most fame, where you're going to travel the most, is probably with them.
Right.
Any other company on television, though, it is altogether good for the business because it's more of like for the guys on the independent circuit,
Yeah.
if they're trying to get to a bigger league,
Yeah.
now they have more places to choose and go to.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah,
that's good.
and we've said it all along. If you only have one product out there, if it's only the WWE, and that's the only writing staff, and that's the only talent pool, it's going to be stale, and there's going to be no reason for them to get bigger or have a better competition. If you've got somebody at least sneaking up on you as a number two, it keeps you on your toes and makes you
Exactly.
grow, and ups your game, ups the
Absolutely,
ante.
it's like having Pepsi without Coke, pretty
Yep.
much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty much like if Pepsi and Coke, they're competitors.
Yeah.
If one bought out the other, now there's no competition. Now there's no strive to their
That's
soda
what
flavor
happened-
any better.
That's what happened in 2001. After that ratings war was over, I mean, for a good decade or so, it
Yeah.
just got real stale.
Stale.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that there's no competition.
Yeah, and I really think that, if you watch the show, we've said it many a time, that WWE is really getting stale, and hopefully, with Ring of Honor and TNA starting to gain momentum, especially Ring of Honor, I'm much more of a fan of that product. I'm hoping that it kind of wakes up the WWE and says, hey,
I think
what?
they're waking up slowly,
Yeah.
coming out of a coma.
And I think, with the advent of NXT,
Right.
NXT almost being its own brand, and the guys coming out of there, these are the guys that are hungry, like yourself.
Right.
Just getting into the game and trying to hey, this is who I am, and get your name out there.
What
and
about
get
Kevin Owens? You know who that is, right?
I do know who Kevin Owens is.
Yep.
It's like for guys like that, you know what I mean? Like obviously, growing up, there were guys like Lex Luger, like Sting, like Macho Man, who had these real hard, chiseled body, like beach bum physiques, and like that was like you had to look like that. But there's other guys now that like for instance Kevin Owens, he to me looks more somewhat of like maybe like a smaller version of Big Boss Man from back
Yeah.
in the day. So he doesn't have this unique chiseled out
He's
physique.
not that big, but I mean,
But he can go.
He can
Right.
go.
and he
move
can
around.
work, and he can work, and he wants it. And he's a younger generation person, and that's what our generation needs is younger guys to step up to people who have been in the company for like 10, 15 years, who are on their way out. They need replacements for these people.
Yes, and because I mean, honestly, we know that as great as Ric Flair was, he's not what he used to be.
Absolutely not.
And he definitely wrestled longer than he should have. Hulk Hogan isn't what he used to be.
And definitely went a little longer than he should have.
You were at a couple weeks ago in Bridgeport and saw Jimmy Snuka at 72 years old.
Yeah.
Right. He was 2 days away from 72 years old.
Yep.
It was a delight to meet him. He was a wonderful man. But seeing him in the ring, I'm glad my kids got to see Jimmy Snuka wrestle, because they didn't have the opportunity when I was a kid in the
Right.
Coliseum
I know.
and Madison
Right.
Square Garden. but it was kind of
just
on the
wasn't
sad
the same.
side to see
Yeah.
a 17-year-old man, trying to get out there and go.
Just
You know.
knowing that he was not in his prime,
Right,
and he's
right.
past it.
But you
know.
got to give him credit though for even
Absolutely.
doing it.
Oh, without
Yeah.
a doubt. But is that a spot? Especially in the WWE, is that a spot that a 25-year-old guy should have instead of Ric Flair being in there at 60-something years old, trying to do what he did? Give Flair an agent job. Give him the respect that he's due. Give him an agent job. Let him be a manager, which we don't have enough of these days. Somebody, a mouthpiece, and Ric Flair could definitely be a mouthpiece for somebody that is yet to be a good talker.
Right. See, to me personally, I mean, I don't know how it was back in the day.
Yeah.
But let's just say, for example, WCW in the 90s,
Yeah.
Ric Flair was making $500,000.
Yeah.
Okay, and he was in his late 40s.
Yeah.
Why not get 5 guys in their 20s and give them a $100,000 contract apiece?
Right. Right.
Got a call here.
And give 5 new guys
I agree.
a shot.
Yep.
Let's get to this call.
Let's
quick.
get a call.
You are live on this.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, it's Aubrey.
Hey,
Aubrey.
Aubrey.
How
We're
are
here
you?
with Hillbilly Greg. What's going on?
Just a lot of mixed emotions,
Mixed emotions.
Yeah.
just about everything that's going on right now,
Yeah.
But I'm just calling about Newton.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Did you know the man? Have you had encounters with him?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's another show, and I used to be on it, and they wouldn't do promotions for Newton show or event, and I would be the only one who would do them, and Derek really appreciated that, and he was always nice to me from the beginning, and I didn't see why I had to, why I would stop announcing shows, but he's always been nice, always said hi to me at every show I went to, very loud, hey Aubrey, how are you, like very, something like that is what all these other social promoters need to learn how to be, which is they need to be friendly with everyone, and he made going to the shows a little easier.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know.
Definitely, that's definitely gonna be missed. When the people go, that's when.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely agree, and I know who you're talking about with that. How's your training going? We're talking to Hillbilly Greg about his training. How you doing?
Oh my God, I'm exhausted. Earlier, I was knocked out. Like I came home and I took a shower and I was knocked out.
Yes.
My neighbor, but.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's a hell of a workout, if anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I mean, for me, I'd rather be fit while I train, because that training is no joke.
Right.
Like, a lot of people say wrestling is fake, and I know when you're not training, you're like, yeah, blah, blah. But after my first day of training, I wanted to punch the first person in the face that said wrestling is fake.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was very sore, my neck, everything, but my trainers have been very proud of my improvement, and they're shocked, basically. They thought I was going to be a diva and not get in there with the boys and throw a punch or take a bump, but
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you gotta make your tough enough video. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know a few people that have made a tough enough video that have barely been near a ring, let alone training.
Right.
And Joseph von Schmidt on his Facebook page was like, if you haven't been able to get your butt down to the training ring, then you don't really
Deserve
call
to be-
yourself
yeah, right.
tough enough.
Uh-huh.
If you're not tough enough to get your ass to training, excuse my British, but
We're gonna have another suspension, just
Oh.
like Dangerous Dan.
Yeah. Like Ariane from the Fuerza Taxos, she got on the show, never been trained before, and then on the Talking Up show, and she didn't make it very. She didn't make it past the first episode.
Right, right.
No.
Yeah.
It's not something. It's not something that people should do for fame or anything. It's people should do it if they're really good trained and really want to do it, because you will have that moment after you first day of training. You're like, oh my God, is this for me? But then you gotta figure out, okay, are you really tough enough? Is this what you really want to do? And
Yeah.
separate the real people from those that want.
Right, yeah, and we were talking earlier. You're not going to get onto a football field without first going through Pee Wee and high school football and the college football. You're not going to walk into Yankee Stadium without playing T-ball and and moving up the ranks. So I mean,
Right.
how people think that they can step into a wrestling ring and be somebody, without doing the proper training and taking the proper steps is really kind of crazy.
Yeah, like I heard the Diva Sex is coming back on, and I mean, with all these talented girls that are in the industry, if you wanna put models on the show, and I mean, I don't have a problem with models because of Trish Stratus, but the ones after Trish Stratus have nothing on her. They just did for the fame.
Yeah, yeah, maybe you go back to was WCW had the Nitro Girls, and they were what they were. They were there for eye candy, and that was that. We weren't putting them in the ring. We weren't expecting them to be competitors. Hey, if that's what you think you need on the show,
I know.
then let them be just that. And be the Nitro Girls. Or what was that show? Living Color had the Fly Girls. Let them come out before the commercials. Do their little dance, shake their money maker, and
Yeah, sure, proud.
Because unfortunately, that's what a few of them are. That's you're absolutely right. They're just eye candy, and they're not trained to be in the ring, and they're not only a danger to themselves, but they're a danger to their opponent.
That's actually a very good point. After my first day of training, I was like, oh my God, I really hope that whoever I step in the ring with, as I graduate my training and start doing shows places, I was like, I really hope that they're well trained, because this is no joke. I don't think I hurt.
Right.
No.
Yeah,
So,
and
that's
and you don't want to feel responsible if you hurt somebody in the ring because they're not experienced.
exactly. Yeah.
So that's awesome. We thank you for calling in and keeping us updated. And obviously, you're always welcome to come down.
Right.
I was trying to get a hold of you earlier, but
I was knocked out.
She's an important part of the crew now.
yeah, absolutely, always. Are you going to any events coming up?
As of right now, no, I don't have anything planned as of right now. I'm just doing training and also the gym, working out a lot. So
All right.
I don't have a lot of free time. I don't even go out to clubs anymore.
Except on Thursday night.
Right.
Yeah. $1 drink.
I saw your picture from Thursday night. I saw that.
Right.
I saw you out there on Thursday night.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I went on Thursday night because, $1 drink, college night, yeah. But
Oh, you must get them all for free. Everybody buys the hot ladies drinks.
Yeah, right.
You must get free drinks all the time. I'm the schmo that's gotta buy them. But
I have no comment.
Yeah.
all right, girl. Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you very much, Aubrey.
You guys enjoy your night.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
We'll see you soon.
Of course, Aubrey St. John, our
Of course.
lovely sometime correspondent.
Squared Circle contributor.
Yes.
Right, along with Dangerous Dan, who's powers that be decided that
Dun dun dun.
he had some inappropriate conduct last week.
Inappropriate.
Right. So I don't know, something about the footage, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
But getting back to our
Right.
guest,
Right.
dream match in their prime, you in your prime. Who would you want? I mean, the number one main event at WrestleMania.
That's a really good question. And I've been asked this question before.
Yeah.
And obviously you've heard my pick of my favorite five. Or
Correct.
whatever. The answer to this is a little different.
Okay.
And I'm going to say The Miz.
Wow. I'm a huge fan of The Miz.
I think that the way that The Miz actually came up was ingenious. You know what I mean? He started off in reality television.
Yep.
He was training on the independents. He worked his way up to Tough Enough. He got eliminated. It probably made him feel like boosting him down like a couple notches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And now it's like, oh, well, where am I going to go from here? And he somehow still made it to the dance, main evented WrestleMania as the champion, and beat John Cena.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How can I not choose that guy?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, and there's an example of a guy that's not chiseled and really overly big. I mean,
No.
he's fit, he's in shape, but he's not, you know, Ultimate Warrior.
No, he's like an
not Randy
underdog, too.
Savage.
Right.
You know, he's a little bigger than Daniel Bryan. Excuse me.
Right.
But you know, he's just, you know, maybe above average in body style, body weight. You know, and there's a guy that, like you said, just worked his way up.
Yeah.
And the thing that he's got going for him that a lot of guys in the business aren't up on is charisma. The guy has got charisma.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not even doing it right.
No, and he definitely knows how to bring the ruckus. You know, and you're absolutely right. I'm a huge fan for the Miz because of that.
Yeah, it's just like those little things like really impressed me from him. You know what I mean? Like there's a list of guys that I could have chosen to answer that question.
Yep.
But just the accolades of how he got into the game and what he's accomplished.
Yeah.
That's why I would choose him for that.
Yeah,
question.
that's excellent answer. Excellent answer. That's fantastic. You have any questions for our guest?
I'm about good. I mean, did you go out and see The Rock's new movie?
I have not.
Go check it out.
I will.
Yeah.
I will. I'm a big fan of the Rock. I'll check it out.
It's San Andreas, right?
San Andreas.
And it's a
That
disaster.
actually looked like I've seen previews for it. It actually looks
Yeah,
really good.
it's a disaster movie.
Yeah.
Right.
So anytime there's a disaster, it's my fault. So San Andreas, my fault.
Yeah, dude.
Dude,
You're messed up.
hey now. But what's going to happen after June 20th, and what's your goal after that?
Well, after June 20th, PWA, there are a select few members of PWA that will be touring Ecuador.
Right.
As far as I know right now, I am one of them.
Wow, congratulations.
As far as I know, I don't think that anything is like been confirmed or anything like that. But we've got about 5 guys that are going to go to Ecuador right after the June show and represent the company over there.
That's fantastic.
And if I am one of the 5, it's going to be my first international big tour thing.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for
So you
that.
got your passport all in order, I
I
hope?
got my passport. It's all ready.
'Cause that's
the
the
bags
different-
are packed. I'm ready to
First
get
time
out
out of the country ever?
Been to Canada when I was like 10.
Yeah.
First time out of the country as an adult, so I'm ready.
Yeah.
Ready to do it.
Wow, fantastic. That's great. And of course, the Ecuador champion, the PWA champion in Ecuador is Little Schmidt,
Right.
Yes.
who former guest of the show and friend of our show.
Yes.
I've interviewed him actually on our sister show in East Haven back when I was running that.
Right.
And just a fantastic guy.
He is. I've been in the ring with him. He's a great dude. And I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we had him call in the last time we had Joseph von Schmidt here. We surprised Joseph von Schmidt with Little Schmidt.
nice.
And it was a lot of fun, and the look of joy on Joseph's face was priceless. But it's been fantastic having you. Can't wait to see your match on the 20th. It's been great. I've seen, I saw you walk in, I think the first day at PWA, and so I've tracked your progress from day one. Really, I don't know if you remember.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I was there for the youth program, and you had come in, and
Yeah.
and I was like, "Who's this guy?"
Yeah.
And it's been wonderful to see you progress as not only as a competitor, but as a person
I appreciate that.
and as a man. And
Definitely.
it's been great getting to know you and seeing you on and off. Not just at the events, but backstage and in settings like this. And it's just fantastic. And the guys down at PWA couldn't be more friendly and nice and gracious to all of us, and they've embraced both of my sons.
Right.
And Dylan does all of the camera work for Joseph von Schmidt,
Yep.
and Jacob in the ring with you guys, and it's a wonderful experience, and I couldn't be happier, and we're just very, very fortunate to know you guys, and and I'm not just saying that. Yeah, I'm not just saying that. It's genuine.
Oh yeah.
So
Absolutely. I appreciate that. I'm sure that the company PWA appreciates that.
so if your opponent's the NPC, let's put you right on the spot. Let's cut a promo.
Do it.
June 20th.
If you guys are watching, which if you're not, there's something wrong with you because I'm on television. Come on. If you guys are watching, Hillbilly Greg, Wrecking Ball Legursky, the Wrecking Hillbillies, June 20th, Bristol, Connecticut, are going to destroy anything that the NPC has planned. We're going to take them down because we've got something up our own sleeves that they ain't ready for.
Wow.
Heard it first.
Well, there it is. There it is. The tag team goal looks like it's going to stay right where it is. I'm sure Nathaniel Carr, who we had on a few weeks ago, with Damian Darko.
Of course.
I got his name right?
You got it right.
Terrible.
Donnie Darko. You messed it
Right,
up
right.
the last
I am
time.
so terrible with names and memory. That's why I got my trusty computer here.
Right.
But
I almost forgot. Look at the shirt I'm wearing.
yeah, there we are. Yeah.
NEFW.
But I'm sure Nathaniel Carr will have something different to say about it. But I'm pretty convinced that from that promo. And again, with a couple minutes left, Eric Newton to the family. I'm not usually a proponent of these GoFundMe things, but personally, on this note,
Right.
in a case like this, the family is usually pretty strapped, and he was a young man, so this happened very suddenly. So I'm sure there wasn't much time to prepare
Right.
for something like this. If you
There
can help
was
out.
ever a reason to have a GoFundMe.
Yeah,
It
if
would
you-
be
if-
something
yeah.
like this.
Hey, it's not, hey, I'm trying to buy a car, or I want to buy a boat. This is, help this family out, and for this great man who, as Greg pointed out, and Lurch and yourself and me, has helped a number of people in the business and been a very selfless person. And we know a lot of people in this business that are not the most honest guys, not the most generous guys, and that's in the world in general. But in the business that we're in, it's kind of difficult. But Eric Newton, definitely a generous guy, definitely helped out a lot of people. So now it's our turn to do something to give back. And as I said, Dylan had wonderful things to say about him, not just today, and not just upon his passing, but every time that he had gone up and spent time with this gentleman. So if you can help out, help out. Even if you go up to the show, and as Lurch said, all of the proceeds from the ticket. So you're getting a great show. You're getting a great product. Eric Young, TNA talent, former TNA talent, EY, is going to be on the card. So you're going to get a great night of entertainment. It's going to go to a great cause, and that's helping out. So, hey,
Exactly.
you get something, they get something. It's all good. It's a win-win.
It's got to be in a nice place, too. Clarion Hotel, Springfield.
Yeah.
So, definitely.
So, wrapping it up.
Well, we'll wrap this up. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks to the
Definitely.
Squared Circle.
We cut a lot of promos. Have footage of the number one contenders match for next week, possibly.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
We'll get to it.
we were talking so much, and Greg was
Talking so
such a
much.
wonderful guest.
Monitors out on us.
Yeah.
We're down with skeleton crew tonight, but hopefully next week we'll be back in full running order.
Yeah, and the number one contender match that Dickie
Definitely.
Moon won for
I
the
had a
PWA
little something to
Squared
say
Circle.
too last week, Saturday night to one James Barton Rigby.
Oh, the heat is
proper
on,
villain.
brother. Oh yeah, ruckus.
I got rid of that monkey, and you know what? I don't hate to have some phone calls from London to wondering where someone is. But we'll get into that again next week. I'm Hollywood J. Williams. Good night and good luck.
Is that it?
You guess. He guesses.